So hi, I'm on the Good Noise Podcast with Gregory Dillon. We're gonna ask him some questions today. I'm gonna start. So, what inspired you to start making music?
Oh, first instrument is piano. And I remember my cousin Laura got me this like little synthesizer and I would play like drone Gregorian chant music for my Beanie Babies, and we would all be in this like monk world in my room. So I think that must have been like eight.
Eight.
Eight. And I'm telling you, my Beanie Babies were like religious.
That is definitely the most interesting answer we've gotten to
That's
that
the best
question.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best one.
It's typically like, picked up a guitar at 14, strummed some chords, and now I'm in this really successful band,
Here I am.
That's just how it works. And you're like, I was playing music with my fucking Beanie Babies at 8.
Yo, let me tell you, I would get little like tissues and I would make sleeping bags for all of them. And we'd be so quiet. We would be like, hey, we're monks. So
They were living lavishly. Oh my god.
and I think I would tape one key down so it was just a long drone soundtrack.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Truth be told.
I love it.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
I'm glad.
That's amazing. Wow.
I don't think I've told that many people, but it's the truth.
It's great. I love it. I love it so much.
That's a great way to open the late night interview right there.
Definitely. Definitely.
Do you guys have Beanie Babies or like stuffed animals still?
Stuffed
yeah, I have
animals,
stuffed animals,
Not
yeah.
Beanie Babies though.
Mm-mm.
I got a bunch in my room for my girlfriend because she still likes the stuffed animals. So the big squishmallow things.
Oh, those are
popular.
so squishy and soft.
Yeah, they were on sale at Walgreens, and Walgreens down the road, so I went and bought a bunch of them, and those are a Christmas gift.
I like the new Beanie Babies. They have like the big eyes. I think they're very cute.
Mm-hmm. They're very cute. All right. Moving on from monk Beanie Babies. Congrats on your newest release, Sad Magic. How have you felt the response to that EP so far?
It's been great. Today is kind of like everyone who's on Spotify gets like their like report card, whether you're an artist or you're a musician. And I didn't expect it was coming in my inbox today. And I took a look and it was just, I was speechless. Like, I don't believe in like trying to like obtain stats or numbers. Like that stuff is kind of pointless if you're trying to be an artist, because like you got to drop that. But I looked and it was just like absolutely nuts. I like was really, really excited by just the amount of streaming that's going on and the new family that I'm kind of acquiring. I made this whole album very much about my past and my childhood and growing up in a very kind of like small suburban neighborhood where I was really confused. And so to make that kind of like this like public first album was kind of personal, but like I felt super empowered to do it because I was just for my whole life like very shy about, putting things out there until I really decided to be a pop artist. So I think it was great to get the reaction, but I was really excited to like just self-endorse myself. Like, you did that, like regardless of the stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
I don't know if you've had a chance to listen, but
We did.
yeah,
I did. Yeah.
That's
it's
our
super
homework.
80s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not one for pop music. Lori's definitely the pop fan out of the two of us, but I genuinely enjoyed listening through the entire EP. So,
Oh, I'm so excited to hear your thoughts more.
yeah, I'm like the metal kid out of the group, out of the two of us. So for me to enjoy something like pop related, like want to go back to it, is rare. So, 2 thumbs up from me.
Yes.
2 thumbs up for me as well. You get the pop stamp of approval.
I'm always curious. Yeah, like, okay, so you say, not to like take over, but you said metal. Like, I'm just curious, like, yeah, are you listening to current metal or metal from the past?
Both. My favorite band is Korn. So, but like I've also been listening to like Moss to Flames and Motionless in White and Fit for a King, a bunch bands like that. So
Freaking-
all over the
Amazing.
map. Whatever my ears like.
Wait, Gloria, you said you like pop, like, is your one of your main genres?
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards pop nowadays. Yeah.
Epic. I always like to know these things because I'm definitely not a one genre pony myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. What's your main? Is it pop as well?
I guess I have to call it pop. Like, I love the idea of like manufactured pop and like finding out like what is like a perfectly crafted pop melody. But I grew up on 80s music. I love, oh my God, classical. I love the Pokemon movie soundtrack. That's like my favorite.
Hell yeah.
That's sick. Wonderful.
I don't know if that's very diverse, but
No, you're fine.
No, it's great. It's great.
Listen, it's a fucking podcast run by two teenagers. We literally don't give a fuck in the slightest. Whatever you want to talk about tonight. Whatever. You want to talk about Beanie Babies and
The Beanie Babies was great.
and
I
80s
love
music? Like, let's do it. Like, let's just chat about that. It doesn't
not?
matter to me. These late night interviews always just go off the rails. Like the 10 o'clock ones, we just like start giggling and everything. So we'll be all right.
Giggling.
I know I could hear you guys giggling. It's the best feeling though for an interview. Sorry, I was gonna go grab my Pikachu, but then I was like, wait, stay focused.
Oh, you can grab a Pikachu. if you
Grab
want.
him.
Yeah, go grab a Pikachu.
Oh my god, there was the headphones.
My headphones came off.
At what cost?
Okay. I don't know if you guys are recording the video as well, but
We are.
no,
It's
Yes.
good on the internet. Everyone's
hopefully
going to see it.
okay. That makes more sense for if you're listening and can see what happened. I have my Pikachu.
Oh my
I love
god.
it.
This is
Yeah, I was
bad.
like, oh wait a minute, I match. That's why I wanted to bring them over.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm not a
love
big
it so much.
Pokemon fan because I've never like had a Nintendo console to play it on until now. So, but I like Pikachu. Pikachu's cool.
Yeah, I almost I wanted to try to like wear this today. It's been so cold in my room. Like I could somehow stretch it over.
It's completely valid. Maybe one of these days.
I have the AC stuck in my window. I've been waiting for weeks for my not my landlord, my super to come because it's like bolted in. So there's a horrible draft. So we've been wearing coats anytime I'm in my room. I'm very lucky the heat's on from the all day now. I'm kind of warm, but anyway, sorry. I'm as you'll know, I'm very ADD.
You're
So
fine.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Fine. So is there anything behind the EP name or cover art?
yeah, I make all my cover art. I love being kind of like a visual artist as well. I have my mom to thank. She taught art from home when I was a kid, and both me and my sister love like collage and graphic design. So I had that photo for a while. I always thought it was like very me. I'm not looking into the camera. I see like some heavenly light, and I will say I'm a pretty, like universe spiritual person. I love like energy and stuff, and it always, I felt like represented my inside. And I don't know, this album though again is about kind of a lot of like sad and confusing and complex stuff that happened both in my childhood and then in my adult life. I felt very like it was important in my life, and I kind of look at things that way. Like everything has a reason, like universe is guiding you, you have angels in your life, and it felt super angelic. So I felt like I was channeling my own angel. So yeah,
That's
very
so cool.
the heavens, the clouds, like all that stuff is important. Actually, my mom was always painting angels on everything as a kid. Growing up, that we would like one day wake up and like our table had a giant angel on it, or like just random furniture, like angels. And I used to make fun of her all the time. And I was like, Mom, please, like, and it's funny now that I'm like all about like the heavenly side of music. And so
All right.
That's really cool.
Gregorian monk turned angel.
I love to see it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for this EP?
It's always a little different. I am a producer and a writer, so I definitely get my hands dirty with all the sounds, and I love a synthesizer. I will primarily work with like a piano that has like all those sounds, and I'll start looping things. And I tend to, once I hear a chord progression, that's when I'll kind of like start working on vocals, and I will just hit the record button on my phone, and I'll for like an hour just like sing over it. And then I tend to go for like a walk, and I'll like listen to them, and if I hear something that I like that I did, I'll kind of like put a little star next to it, and I kind of just start like collaging it after that. And I think lyrics always come last for me because I don't always know what the song is about, though I kind of like can hear like a vibe, and I just keep working at that process for sometimes months until I have a track. Sad Magic took a little bit of time. And I also have been lucky now that I've been doing music for a few more years. I've gotten some amazing collaborators who are producers. Like that is their first instinct. And so to have the pleasure, for example, on one of my tracks, Lovely, I had a couple of ideas and I just went to friends and they were like able to spin it into this amazing instrumental track that was like what I wanted and I knew I wanted, but didn't think I could do maybe myself. So I like making music on my own. It's really, it's challenging and rewarding, but I also like love getting in a studio with people who also are like wanting to build something up.
Yeah.
I just want to say Lovely was my favorite track.
Yes.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like, yes, let's go. So
Oh, I think that's my favorite track.
Oh my, as it should be. Mm-hmm.
It's an anxiety track though. Like listening to that track has a lot of crazy shit that went down with it. So,
yeah.
but
All right.
still my favorite.
It's a very good track.
So where was your headspace at while you're writing this EP then?
It kind of came in different stages. That's my Marina and the Diamond British accent.
It's wonderful.
I guess I can go in order because the album is kind of conceptual in the sense of it goes in the course of Dawn to Dusk. Sad Magic, I was having kind of a universal identity crisis. I don't know if you guys ever like have felt that, where you're just like, oh my God, like where am I in this like world and what am I supposed to do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was really confused. Like I knew I was making progress, but also felt very stuck in my life. And so that song's about like kind of going through a house of mirrors and like you're forced to like look at yourself, but you're stuck. Lovely is a little bit more of like that one mistake that I don't think anyone ever wants to make in a relationship. And I was starting off a new relationship and I kind of fucked up. And I won't go into crazy detail, but I had such an anxiety attack because it was completely unintentional. And I really thought this like person was going to be something special. So when that was all happening, I just felt like Lovely, like completely sarcasm is the title. That's why the period's at the end. Because it's like, I just effed things up.
Mm-hmm.
And I get really bad anxiety, especially like towards like my own doings. I'm kind of a perfectionist and I'm really self-critical, and it's something I kind of try to remind people to not be. And I feel like all the songs end up kind of telling me as well as everyone else, like, honestly, it's okay. It's kind of human. Plastic Ferrari is also about perfectionism and like not wanting to show any flaws with people. And I originally wrote that track for a girl, and I felt like, I don't know, like I think being gay is a big part of my identity, and I realized it was a huge part of the identity of the album. So I ended up taking that song for myself because I was like, you know what, this is about a Ken doll now, and he's gay. So I'm trying to think of the other track. Screenshots was written before quarantine, but it was kind of funny that it was about being kind of trapped inside and just staring at your phone endlessly and feeling like it was an anchor from you moving on, which I think kind of, when I was getting it ready for the album, I was like, damn, this feels kind of perfect. And then the last song, Sunset, came last, and that was about the same person who I wrote Lovely for, because it kind of had a very good ending, and it's kind of about like trying to savor that moment. So it's also very much about nostalgia. I don't know if you guys like nostalgia or if there's anything that you guys find like takes you back, but I'm a big fan of it.
Me too.
I am. Yeah.
So while going through the record, what band or artist influence do you think pop out the most?
Pokemon movie soundtrack or Enya? I think I would have to name a couple. Like, I remember the first album that really made me stop my car and I had to like just listen to it was Lana Del Rey, Born to Die. I loved the orchestration on that. I feel like Carly Rae Jepsen and Marie and the Diamonds are like those girly pop songs that you kind of hear like as a huge influence on more of like the campy stuff I do. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I have a lot. And the Pokemon movie soundtrack. I'm going to say that a third time.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I cried when I saw that movie. I bawled my eyes.
Oh.
I think the music just like had an impression too. It was very like energetic. I guess the only other song that I like really feel such a connection to is Metro Station, Shake It. I was in high school, like exploring kind of a punky side, and I got to see them live at Warped Tour. And it was
Ooh.
so amazing. I was kind of channeling a little inner goth, and I got hit in the head with a drumstick by the band. So
Oh.
Hmm.
I know. So that song to this day really gets me going too.
Okay, cool.
All right.
It's a good memory. Good
Yeah.
memory.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
Glad you have that memory still.
Did you get the drumstick?
I kind of fought a girl for it, but I didn't win. It was,
Okay.
she would like gave me like level 11 energy so fast that I kind of just like backed up. I was like,
Yeah,
"There's
yeah, that's
no
fair.
way."
Listen, that's the only time where I'd say it's okay to like start kicking at her and stuff
Yep.
to get the drumstick.
I mean, she was
Exactly.
4, so and I was like 14. No, just, I'm just kidding.
Well, I was gonna say then you just trample her, but like
Just push her over. It's fine.
just push her over. That's my drumstick. I died for that.
Exactly. I got hit in the head with it.
I don't know about you guys, but like, how is it as like fans of music not seeing shows? Is that kind of, you mentioned like having tickets and then getting canceled? Like,
Oh, it sucks. I mean, this podcast wouldn't be where it is if like the world hadn't locked down and
Yeah.
like I was still going to shows, but like I was going to a couple of shows every single month, right up,
for you.
yeah, right up before the world locked down. Like I went to one a week before the world shut down. I saw Silverstein right before the world shut down. So I was every couple weeks I was going to a show. So like I miss it a lot, and I try not to watch the live videos I've recorded because then I miss it even more. But sometimes I just can't resist.
Yeah. And then I've only been to 2 concerts, and they're the same. They were 21 Pilots concerts. And that was last year. But I had plans to see to go to 6 concerts this year, I'm pretty sure. And they were like off my bucket list too. So that was really cool. And then COVID was like, hey, that's
Not
not
happening.
happening. So,
You kind of forget, like when you go to I could only imagine a metal concert. Like you probably get so much energy out.
I saw.
You seem calm, but I feel like you're crazy at a metal.
I am not though. Like I haven't seen very many metal shows like in a pit. I kind of got into metal more as like quarantine kind of happened. I saw Motionless in White in Standing Room in last October, but for some reason that show was really calm. I saw Slipknot though with my mom in seats, and that was interesting. So
And
like there
are they
was
the
no
ones that had
pit.
strippers on stage?
That was Motionless in White that had
God.
the opening act with strippers.
Oh my
I brought my
god!
mom to that too. I was bringing my mom to every concert before because I couldn't like drive,
The bonding.
and so my mom and I were going to everything. It was costing me a shit ton of money because I had to pay for her ticket, um, but yeah, I'm honestly I'm not that outgoing at shows. I'm there to like watch the band, and the pit scares me, so I
Yeah.
just kind of hang out off to the side, typically like somewhere in the middle. Like I might be near the pit, but I'm still far enough off to the side where like I'm not gonna get sucked in. Just there to watch, record.
Scary. I've been to one metal show. I don't know if you've heard of Opeth Silhouette, but they were just some random band. I was working in high school at the time with my friend Matt at JCPenney, and he just sprung on me that he had a ticket. And so I didn't know that it was going to be a metal show, and I went with like a full like suit and tie, working
Oh no!
the men's
no,
section
no.
into this crazy metal crowd, and then my friend got lost into the mosh pit, and I went to go look for him. That thing was the scariest thing ever. I tucked my tie in because I was like, I'm gonna get choked with this.
Mhm.
And it was kind of crazy, but like I could also see it being so fun if you have no teeth to lose. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I had joked with my mom because like at this point I was still like 17, and my mom was saying me everything. I was like, what if we just went to go see Cannibal Corpse? And she's like, absolutely the fuck not. Now when shows come back, that's like on my bucket list. Like I want to go get beat the shit out of. So
I was like, let me take my earrings off first before we go into the pit.
yeah. And like I was finally working up the courage to like jump in a pit. I was supposed to see Belmont a week after the world shut down, and like I had seen them in January, and I was ready to like jump in the pit because I was like, I really like their set, and now I'm like gonna jump in the pit this time. And then the world shut down, so now I'm like gonna start at square one when the shows come back, and it's gonna take me forever to like warm up, to
Build
like,
up the courage again.
build up
Yeah.
the courage to possibly get the shit beat out of me.
You could potentially using just simple floss and Beanie Babies, like hang them from your ceiling, like all 100 of them, and then just start like thrashing around as practice. That
Oh
would
my
be my
god. You
advice.
gotta do that.
I
You gotta
mean,
do
you're
that,
right. I
Shane.
could totally do. I mean, there's plenty of time. Shows aren't going to come back until like 2030. So
Exactly.
You remember ever going into like a McDonald's play place or Burger King play place or whatever have you, and there's like these giant, almost like punching bags, and they're all lined together, and you can just like run and thrash yourself through them?
Hmm.
I remember that.
That's a pit. Yeah.
that's where that
Back
story was going.
all the training.
Hmm. Training, preparing. Yeah.
Um, so this question should be like super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this EP for new listeners in 3 words.
Hmm. Um, Synthwave, 80s, nostalgic.
Taste.
Solid.
Wonderful. All right. So, where do you see the project in the next 5 years?
I Oh, that's such a good question because that it kind of is changing every year. I see that I'm able to kind of check off another little thing, but then your music kind of takes on a life of its own, which is something I'm learning. Like I put out songs a couple of years ago that are still reaching out to people,
Hmm.
and getting into people's ears, which is always cool because I'm not really doing anything. It's like I gave birth and they're like kind of walking around doing their own thing. So my goal now is to kind of just keep working on new music, letting the old things kind of prosper. But I'm really into electronic dance music as well. And
Hmm.
so I would love to take just a moment to finish writing an EP that's like very dark house music that I can kind of like vogue to at night on my rooftop.
Okay.
That sounds
So a
great.
little bit of experimentation for the project.
Oh
Then.
yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm also so drawn to visuals that sometimes I'm even thinking first, like, okay, I want this kind of music video or I want this kind of look. What music will fit that? And I'm going to do that. Um, yeah, I definitely plan to write more 80s music. And, I take a little bit of, I'm a self-funded artist, which I give props to anyone for doing because it's really tough. But I am starting to make a little bit of streaming income and I'm putting that like back into the project. And the more I keep doing that, and the more I have, a couple more producers that I can hire. And so my goal is to kind of treat this like a farm, like where I'm like, okay, I can grow the potatoes and I can grow the corn and then the green beans. And um, yeah, I'm just super excited to get more into different genres. And I guess, I was also really shy growing up. You would never see me perform in public. I would normally, like in high school, be like inside the high school chapel playing piano alone because I was like way too nervous to audition for like a musical or a show. But I love huge arenas. That's kind of like my secret dream is to play
Hmm.
like a big festival show. I want like cardio step aerobics and I want crazy lights and I just like want to get so like silly and just do a bunch of stuff. So I guess that's the other dream is like I was on my rooftop dancing to just some music alone and I was just kind of like imagining like, oh, imagine if this was like your giant crowd in front of you and it just felt really good, which is funny because I normally am kind of more shy to that, though I really want to do that. So I think almost having the shows taken away from me is made me way more hungry to do them than maybe before. um, and I mean, as an artist in Brooklyn, there are some great venues and I've played some really nice big shows, but the majority of your shows are smaller and intimate. And I think that's a whole concept that I'm like kind of coming back to is like vulnerability and like what's that going to look like on the other side. And now I'm kind of craving it.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
That's fair. Excited to see you perform at Leeds Festival. That's
Yeah.
sick.
Coachella.
Yeah.
Coachella. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever the big
Electric
festival.
Forest. Have you ever heard of that one?
It sounds familiar.
It's really pretty. My sister showed me that one, and then I was looking at photos, and it's really about the visuals. I love like just some atmospherics, like strobe lights.
Hell
Hmm.
yeah.
Sick.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So, if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh my God, a buttered bagel and a glass of eggnog if it's in the winter. Um,
If it's in the fall,
if it's in the fall, I'm thinking, oh man, what
I'm
is my
feeling
favorite
something
drink?
pumpkin from you.
Maybe pumpkin. That's a good suggestion because I do like a pumpkin. Actually, me and my family would always drive from New Hampshire, where I grew up, to New York, where all my family is and where I'm based now. And we'd stop at this deli called Ryan's Deli, and they had a soda called Dr. Brown's Black Cherry Soda. And that is my favorite. I can rarely find it. So that's going to be my drink of choice.
Okay.
Okay, solid taste. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
It depends. Okay, do I get to kind of like embody that world in some sense, or am I like a foreigner?
It depends, like if you want to.
Okay, so I guess if I do get the ability to kind of adapt, it's going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm going to be controlling some kind of element like
What
air.
element? Okay, air.
I think I'm an
As you
airbender.
should. Yeah, exactly, because everybody says like, oh, I do earth. Okay, what if like you just with air you could literally just like bend the air out of people's lungs. Like that's it. Done.
Have you watched the show?
I watch it with my brother, I'm pretty sure.
It's so good. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, Shane. Have you seen Avatar?
No.
You need to. It's very
It's
good.
good.
I'll do it with all
just
my
gonna
free
stick with
time,
that.
Glory.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore.
I guess if I could say one other place, it's like this is terrifying to think about, but like I'm really obsessed with space. So I would say, secondly, like maybe some kind of like aliens come and like foster me for a couple of days. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
just the fear of like you don't know what they're gonna do. Like if I can guarantee they're peaceful, like I'll date one of them. So
Yeah. See, when you said aliens, I thought you meant like the franchise Alien. I was like, why would you
Oh,
want to
God.
do that?
never in a million years those aliens.
Oh
No, the
god, no.
boys.
You don't want them to foster you. That'd be horrible.
I mean, the sex will be hot, but honey, I'm gonna die.
I mean, you are right. That's all that matters, though.
True.
All right, while Glory's composing herself, I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we've spoken to have said it's the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Oh my God. You know what's funny? People ask me that all the time. I guess I have to go with blue because blue was my favorite color as a kid. But when I started doing music and releasing it, I really got into embodying colors for like a season or a period. So I put out my first single in 2018, Alone With You, which was yellow. And I truly only wore yellow for like 3 months because I wanted my Instagram to kind of embody the yellow. And it felt so interesting putting on that color and wearing only yellow. I felt like it brought out a lot of like friendliness and like good ego. And then the second song I released was blue. And so I wore all blue and it like made me like extra sensitive. I was more in touch with like feelings. And the third was green. And I felt like it was very like growth. Like, so I feel like my favorite thing is sticking with one color and like completely surround yourself with that color, even if it's not your favorite, and just see what it's like, what the experience does to you.
Okay.
So that's a
cool.
challenge for you too.
Oh god. Okay.
For 1 week, try to wear only one color and see how it affects your mood.
Do that all the time.
Black,
Yeah?
Right?
Constantly wearing black, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that. But no, I mean, that also, it's very, black is very protective. I feel like it fortifying.
Definitely, yeah.
You just made our meaningless color questions super deep. So
Yeah.
This,
Sounds good.
this whole podcast is very fun.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, sadly, that is all the questions we have for you today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
I guess I should plug the EP because it came out. I have,
Yeah.
my name is Gregory Dillon. I do synth pop 80s music, and I just released a EP, my first EP, Sad Magic, which is all about kind of re-exploring the complex past suburban life that I grew up in. And I have a lot more music coming out, and yeah, I'm really excited to just like keep spreading the good word.
As you should.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Gregory Dillon, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.